will be recorded and made available to students and staff. Your comments, questions, both verbal and text-based, and likeness of using the webcam may be included in the recording. So welcome to this daily digital micro webinar. The format of the session will be a quick demonstration of how to easily create a survey and timed quiz using Microsoft Forms. And then at the end, I will open up your mics and webcams for any questions. So my name is Victoria O'Keefe and I'm a digital skills developer, and I develop and deliver digital skills training to students and staff across the university. And today's aim is to, first of all, let you know how to access forms, so portal.office.com, and I'll show you how to create a survey and a timed quiz, and also how you can go in and change the different settings and then use the built-in analytics to evaluate those responses. But first of all, what are forms? Well, forms enable you to create a form, such as a survey or a quiz, and you can also invite others to respond to it, and they can respond using a web browser, or they can use their mobile devices to answer it as well. And when they answer it, you can see real-time results as soon as they're submitted. And as I've said, you can use those built-in analytics to evaluate the responses, and you can export those results to Excel for additional analysis or grading. So if I just open up a web browser, just to show you how to get to forms, you can type in portal.office.com, and then you can log in with your Cardiff Met username and password. Something that I always like to show in the top right hand corner of this is this install apps button, and this is where you can download the latest version of Office, so Word, Excel, Outlook, and you can even access Teams. So that's something that's really useful to know. And on the left hand side, if I zoom in again, you can see that there's this waffle, these dots, and this is where you can access forms, and you can also access it from the left hand side if you have your forms visible there. So here is my forms screen, and you can see my recently used forms, and ones I've pinned, so ones I use all the time, and also ones that have been shared with me. And to create a form, it's really simple. All you need to do is click on, if I zoom in, this new quiz button at the side, there's a drop down arrow. So if I click on that drop down arrow, and I can choose a new form, and this is where the form will open. So I'm going to create a new survey, and straight away I can see the field for the entitled form, and I can type in or copy and paste in the name of my survey. And if I want to, I can add a form description. And then underneath, I can add these different questions. So I can click on the choice question, and then I can ask my first question. So I'm copying my questions from a Word document. I'm cheating. So what course did you attend? And I can type in Excel, and then Forms will give me some choices. And to save me typing them in, I can choose Word, PowerPoint, or OneDrive. And then I can add another option if I want to. If I add something and I think, well, I don't want to keep it, I can hover and I can just click on that delete bin. And then if I'm happy with that, I can decide, do I want the respondents to choose more than one answer? So I can select multiple answers, or is it required? So they must answer this question. And then I can click on add new. And this time I can select text and add my question. So I can type in my question. Do you have any feedback for us? and this is where they can add their answer. So is it going to be long, or I can deselect that so it stays short. I can even click here and insert media. So I could insert an image or even a video. So it could be, asking your respondents to give their feedback on an image or watch a video and so on. And then I can add new. So I can add a rating question. So please rate the training you attended. There we go. And then I can decide the levels. So out of 5, and do I want it to be stars or numbers, smiley faces? So depending on your survey, you can choose any of these, but I'm happy with the stars. And then I'm quite happy with this, but I think it looks quite plain. So in the top right-hand corner, we've got lots of options here. I can choose theme. And do I want it to be a fun theme or a professional theme? So I'm just going to choose this theme here. And if I decide I don't like it, I can just pick another theme. And then I can preview my survey. So this is how it looks. And then I can just go through and just test that it all works, submit my answer. And this is how it looks on the computer, but I can click on mobile to see how it looks on a mobile device. So that's really useful, and I can go back. And now I can collect responses. So who is allowed to complete this survey? And I can click on the drop down and choose anyone can respond. So anyone with the link, or if the data is quite sensitive and you didn't want external people, it could be only people in my organization, or you can refine it even more, and then you could send it out to specific people in your organization. And then I can copy this URL, so the web address, or I can choose to shorten the URL to make it easier if I was distributing it via the URL. And then I can send it to a group of people via Outlook or Teams. And then here we've got invitation. You could even get the QR code, so it could be on a poster, and people use their mobile phones or devices to take a photo and scan that QR code. If you are using the QR code on the poster, I would always recommend using a shortened web address, so a tiny URL, just in case that QR code doesn't work, or some people don't like using QR codes. And then you've got the embed option if you want to embed it anywhere, maybe in the Moodle module, and then you can send it out. So that's a really quick way to create a form. But something else in the top right-hand corner, you can go to settings, and again, who can respond, and you can just choose more options. You might want a start and an end date and set a time duration. You can shuffle these questions and so on. So there's lots of information here that you can choose. So I'm just going to go back to forms, and this time I'm just going to quickly show you how to create a quiz. So this time, instead of clicking on the drop down, I'm going to click on new quiz. And then this will open up my quiz. So this is going to be a quick pop quiz with a time limit. So in the form description, I could say you have 5 minutes to complete this quiz once you start it. And then I can add new. And again, we've got the same question types. So I'm just going to choose the choice. And my question is, and I'm sure you all know the answer, what is the name of the well-known spreadsheet software developed by Microsoft? And I could just start typing in some answers and then just choose them from the list. Now, the answer is Excel. And so all I need to do is click that tick, and that will be the correct answer. And on the right-hand side, I can give a message for those who chose this. So maybe well done. And then again, I can add another option, or I can delete it. And then underneath, well, before I do that, I can have multiple answers or required, and then add another question. And again, I'm just going to have choice. So for those computer buffs out there, the question is, how many bits are there in a byte? I remember this from my degree. I don't remember much. Another option. So there are 8 bits in a byte, if you ever wanted to know that. And again, I can go up and add a theme for this. Okay, so I can choose a theme. Oh, that's a better one. And then I can go up into my options. So I could go to settings and I can choose to show the results automatically. And for this one, I do need to set the time duration for 5 minutes. And I can shuffle the questions. And I can choose to shuffle all the questions or maybe keep a few questions in their original places. And I can show a progress bar. And at the end, I can customize a thank you message and so on. So now I can preview this. And then as soon as I click on start, you can see there are 5 minutes and it will count down and let me know how long I've got left. So if I click on submit, I can view my results. I got both of them right and how long it took me to complete it. And if I go back, I've got now this responses tab. So as I created the form, I've got this responses tab. I can see the number of responses, how long it took to complete, and the active status. So is it closed or is it still open? And I can go through and I can look at the answers and I can choose more details. Okay, so I can see who answered it and so on. And something that's really useful is to open in Excel. So it will download into an Excel spreadsheet. And then when it opens up, you can see I have these headings: start time, completion time, the email, the name, and the answers. So this is where I could go into more of my data analysis. So it's really simple. Just go to portal.office.com, select forms, decide if you want a survey or a quiz, and then you can build them up as well. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording and there will be time for questions.